Battlefield 2042. More like Battlefield a need for improvement. I love this game. Maybe it's because I'm bored of every other game, or maybe it's because it's the best Battlefield ever released. Well, I know what you're probably thinking, Mr. Sheep. You probably think it's bad. With a stinky review of mostly negative on Steam, clearly there must be some issues with the game. And I'm not going to beat around the metaphorical bush here, there are indeed some issues. To put it simply, the game wasn't ready for release. It had enough bugs to start an insect revolution, the vehicles were incredibly annoying, the bullet spread of the weapons was less accurate than me of a wingman, and the hit registration was as inconsistent as my YouTube channel. I know, it's been a rough start, but I don't think the launch is a fair representation of the game. But, obviously, this doesn't matter to 99% of gamers because they feel the need to let everyone know online that the game is the worst thing to happen in the 21st century. And that's saying something, because the latest series of Doctor Who exists. Now, let's talk about the gameplay, and first of all the guns. Yes, there's a disappointing amount of guns in the game, and yes, there's a lack of variety in the attachments. And yes, that 4x scope reticle is grosser than an Absorbeloff's butt crack. And yes, the weapon bloom makes it impossible to hit anything at range. And yes, the hovercraft can drive up walls. Wait, the hovercraft can drive up walls? But this is the average smooth brain view of the gunplay. This is because people have no vision. Within a week of the launch, they had already done an update fixing the majority of the bugs, balancing some of the vehicles and increasing the accuracy of guns. Literally 3 of the main issues with the game had been fixed in 1 week. But the so-called fan base are still unjustifiably negative. They're like a toddler who has dropped their ice cream. A fucking idiot. Guns work as intended now, and the game feels fantastic. Moving on to the vehicles. I despise the vehicles, but then again, I hate vehicles in every game. I personally want to shoot people in the face, not sit in a tank and get free kills, ruining the day of some unsuspecting gamer. It just doesn't appeal to me, and I don't know how people can do it for hours on end and not get bored. There's nothing worse than dying to a tank 200 meters away when you're popping off. Like, you're a big enough pussy using the vehicle as it is, and now you're gonna sit at the back and shoot me from the safety of a vehicle? It's pathetic, really. Anyway, let's talk about the addition of specialists. Yes, this does take away from the classic Battlefield vibe, but you know what? It adds lots of layers to the gameplay, and I don't have a problem with this. What's that? I hear you say through your nasally voice.
But it ruins the experience. No one plays as a team anymore.
Well, I personally think you're wrong. In fact, there are so many more ways in which people can play tactically together, thanks to these epic abilities. And you can choose whatever gun you want, no matter who you are. This is fantastic and what I've always wanted from a Battlefield. However, the maps. The only genuine problem I have with this game is the maps. Don't get me wrong, they look great, but fuck me, they're massive. Bigger is not better in this case. There's nothing worse than having to run for 5 minutes between fights just to die to a hovercraft loser. It's frustrating, and it feels like most guns are unviable because of these long-range fights. Poor shotguns. Although I have to say that Discarded, Manifest and Breakaway are great maps. Even if Breakaway is terribly designed for Conquest, it's still some good POIs. But the other maps, Kaleidoscope, Hourglass, Renewal and Orbital, they all feel pretty poor. I just haven't been able to get in a good groove on any of these maps, but that may change one day. You never know. Game modes. Where's the good old faithful team deathmatch at? And why are there so many fucking vehicles in Breakthrough? And who the fuck cares about Hazard Zone? Bring back Firestorm, I say. Enough of that. Let's talk about possibly the coolest thing that any Battlefield game has ever done. That's right, Portal. How cool is it to go back and play remastered games with custom game modes and a variety of different mechanics? It is truly epic. Also, the maps are reasonable sizes and, in my opinion, the perfect gaming experience. What's that? You like 2042's movement and Battlefield 3's gunplay? Well, this isn't a problem for Portal because it's so sexy. I can join or create a server that has 2042 movement and Battlefield 3 maps and guns. Great success! onto the player base. I think that the player base have the combined intelligence of a wet sponge. They're right to be mad, but they are stupid to leave these permanent negative reviews of the game when it's not at its peak. Battlefield is known for its terrible launches. How are you not used to this by now? Stop whinging. Now, the playstyle of the game isn't that bad. You can tell people play for fun on foot, but as soon as someone's in a vehicle, you know they're a pooey wet wipe. Although when the game came out, the PP. The PP was the only gun that didn't have bloom problems, so like in Warzone, everyone just used the same gun so they could win fights. I refused to, however, because sniping felt so good, and I have a personality, unlike those disgruntled flapjacks. To conclude this epic review, I think the game is fucking great. I haven't had this much fun on the multiplayer in years, and it keeps on giving. Compared to games like, I don't know, Halo Infinite, this game keeps you on your toes. Every game and every fight feels different, which is why I can play it for hours. Yes, there are some major performance issues still on PC, and the game launch was shite, but the quick update goes to show that they do care, and they want to make the game work, but I guess they felt pressure to release it early. I'd compare this game to a company that sells insect-based foods. Yes, right now it's disgusting and full of bugs, and you probably want to stay away from it, but give it some time. Soon, we will all be eating insects, and we will love every second of it. Obviously, everything I said in this video is objectively correct, so make sure to agree down in the comments below. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Adios.